All right, welcome back. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a great lunch. We're going to start. She's going to be here in a second. All right, great. Let me just recap what we've talked about so far. Make a decision that you're going to become a competent and then excellent and then world-class presenter. Start before you're ready. Get your story solid. Have that be your business card. Get presentations happening, opportunity presentations happening in your organization. Involve as many people as possible as a training and a duplication tool. Have a getting started process that is as rigid and duplicatable as possible. And ultimately, you want to start collecting the bits to be able to drive skills through your organization. Okay? Mostly about decision and structure so far. Now we're going to get into style, brand, technique, and it's going to be maybe a little bit more fun, okay? And to do that, I've got an amazing woman. Come on up here. Lisa Nichols. Welcome her up. Everybody, we don't have applause, but welcome up. Hi.
I love you, brother.
I love you too.
Hello, everyone.
She came here to be here in person. She has, how many people have you trained over the course of your career on how to become great presenters, would you guess?
Oh.
It's a big number.
It's a big number, probably well over inside of a structured training program, well over about 10,000 people in a training program.
And in addition to that, there's probably behind the scenes a bunch of big names and big celebrities that you have coached and mentored to become amazing.
Some
True?
people you watch on television a lot, and they already knew how to speak, but they wanted to be impactful. And I was kind of like the secret sauce in the corner with them, teaching them how to not go as wide, but to go deep. And when you go deeper and touch people faster, then you naturally go wider. So, yeah.
So one of the most qualified people on earth to be able to share ideas with you. I hope you're ready to take some notes. I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A, and we'll be talking about some things before I let her take the stage on her own. But why don't you come and have a seat?
Yeah.
So,
hi, everyone. I see you guys saying hi to me. Thank you so much. Hello.
So I want to talk about brand and technique.
Yes.
How important is it for you to have a brand? When people think about you, there's something that comes to mind.
Yeah. So let's unpack brand, because everyone throws that name around so much. Build a brand. What is that? Is that what Legos or what?
Right.
Right? Building a brand is building a body of work, our body of experience, our body of outcome that you own, meaning people go to you. So think of a brand as, if I'm looking for something and I Google something, will you be anywhere around it? And so it's super important. It's, what does the world know you're good to produce? Where do you help? Is it health and wellness? Is it finance? Is it, what does your being help? How do you push humanity forward? That's inside brand, whether it's personal development, mindset, spiritual, financial, super important. And that brand has many tentacles from it. That brand has how you look. We'll talk about that. It has how you show up. It has how you invite people into action. It has so many tentacles from it. So it's one word with many tentacles that requires you to mind each, grow each, and be aware of each.
Yeah, the interesting thing, like if you think about the brand that I've built specifically over the last 20 years or so, has all been about network marketing professional, GoPro, those types of things. If you Google network marketing or network marketing training, my name's going to be very prominent in that. So some people think that their brand has to be attached to their product or to their company or to their compensation structure or to network marketing. And it really doesn't. Your brand can be around your passion. It could be around your themes and things that you love.
Your purpose.
Your purpose. And network marketing can be a vehicle to be able to help you pursue that purpose even greater. But I'll give you an example. There's a lady that I know who is involved in network marketing, and she lost like 200 pounds using the keto diet. And so she's got a community around the keto diet. Well, she's involved in a network marketing company that has nothing to do with
the
keto
diet
at all. And she personally makes sales of like $200,000 or $300,000 every single month to those people in her community with the products that she has in her network marketing company. But that's not, her whole brand is something completely different.
Absolutely.
It could be about dog rescue. It could be about yoga. It could be about fashion. It could be about, anything.
Well,
literally, any passion that you have.
That's so important that you make that distinction, because people try to fit things together too tightly.
And they can sometimes, but not always.
Yeah, but it also becomes too obvious marketing all the time. I always say, assume the people you're talking to are as smart as you are, right? So I am a big advocate of network marketing. And I wasn't necessarily representing any particular organization, but what I'm a advocate of is multiple income technology, building multiple revenue streams to sustain your dreams and sustain your family's dreams, and having the freedom to decide what's your own ceiling. Like, I fit in any space. I fit in the network market theme because my purpose in life is freedom, longevity, write your legacy chapter in a way that makes someone want to read it for the next 50 years. So I fit there, though I'm not representing any particular product. So again, is your purpose. And your purpose high enough, you would be blown away how many people can fit their passion under your purpose when you invite from your purpose. Whenever I was invited in to network marketing annual events, and I have been invited a lot, the reason why I was the invited keynote speaker is because I'm about write a story, write a life story that's worthy of telling and reading. And if this is that vehicle to help you soar, then ride it till the wheels fall off. My purpose is liberation, freedom, life choice, option, and legacy. That fits. So I love what you said. When you get anchored to your purpose, you'll be amazed how many things fit under it. And that's your brand. Your brand stands for that thing. I always say, if we could write an entire chapter on your tombstone, what would we say? Here lies a woman who helped us what? That. Take some time and finish that sentence. And then choose the product or the company you want to help you with that. But that statement is bigger than all things. And then you just find the right people and the right partners to help that statement become true.
Right. And I was reminded as you were sharing, I have another friend of mine who, she is $1 million a year earner in our profession. But if you go see her on social media, for example, all she does is cook. She cooks, and she is trying out different recipes with her friends, and she is funny, and they're just joking around and goofing around and throwing flour in each other's face and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And every once in a while she says, you want to know how I have all the time to be able to go do all this cooking? I have this business over on the side that created financial stability for me and freedom for me. And if you'd like to have something like that, if you'd like to work with me, send me a DM, and happy to talk with you about it. So it doesn't have to be naturally attached. What I want you to think about when it comes to your brand, your purpose, your theme is, what are you passionate about? Think of the 2 or 3 things that you're super passionate about, and what could you talk about endlessly? What could you read about endlessly? What could you learn about endlessly that doesn't even feel like work to you? And from that, you'll find some clues in order to be able to find that thing that you want to work on.
And if I can add this, brands are robust. So it's what colors do you love? It's what mindset, the way you bring people into your brand is not necessarily what you do, but it's your belief system, the culture, your operating system. People will vibe with you because they love the way in which your integrity comes through your words. And so allow that to sit in the space. Allow style. allow energy, allow words. Starbucks has a whole new language. No hablo es Starbucks. I go inside, I don't know if it's a venti, mate, latte, I don't know the size. Give me a medium. They created their own brand through language. When you step on my campus, you'll hear the word Yana. That's not a real word. On our campus, it means you are not alone, Y-A-N-A. So inside your brand, be bold enough to have color palettes, have language palettes, here's how we do it here. It really is a culture that people get to buy into. And for a moment, it's just the culture of you. And then if you're consistent enough, people go, I like that. I like that. I like that. But allow yourself to boldly, and this is the other thing, and we'll talk about this later, creating a brand requires you to agree to be seen. I've never once seen a really great invisible brand. So that's a decision as well.
I love that. So I want to get real practical for a second. The brand is you, but let's talk about how you show up. So I want to get to wardrobe, style, for a second.
I was a hot mess. Ooh,
Were you?
I was a hot mess.
You were not.
Go back far enough. You go far. I know you love me.
Me too.
But I was a hot mess. I didn't know I was. So when we get there, I'll just go out myself.
All right. So when it comes to wardrobe, I'll give you a tip, and then you can provide. When it comes to what you wear, what I want to encourage you to do is write down 2 words: on purpose. Whatever you're wearing, it needs to be on purpose. It needs to be intentional, not accidental. It needs to be not casual. It needs to be thought through. So I found that whatever room you're getting in front of, you need to be dressed a little bit nicer than that room. So you don't need to wear a tuxedo to a presentation on the beach.
Or a gown.
Right? Just a little bit more, a little tighter, a little just a little bit. So whatever you anticipate the room is going to be, you need to be intentional.
So I love this. I always say, if I have to apologize for how I showed up, it's going to be for looking so great.
Yes.
I will never
go higher, don't go lower.
I will never apologize for not meeting the occasion where it is.
Yeah, if you come in super casual and it's a room full of suits and ties, you immediately are going to disconnect from that audience. You know, if they're sport coats and slacks and you're a suit and tie, now it's going to go to another level.
Let's just be honest. Earned credibility starts with what I see.
100%.
And I'm going to out myself here because I didn't always do this. I think I knew it, but I resisted it. Because I considered myself the earth girl, the authentic. I'm a woman from the salt of the soil, all that stuff. I see some heads nodding. I was at an event and they were putting my makeup on and I resisted the makeup thing. I don't wear makeup and I don't want to. And the woman drew back and said, respectfully, Lisa. I thought, uh-oh. She said, we all came to see you. And we don't want to see you the way you would go to Whole Foods. When we say and choose to look up to you, please, on every level, give us something to look up to, including your makeup and your style. You only have to check me like that one time. One time I realized, and I want you to look at it this way. It's not about looking the best or looking great, though that's wonderful. It's about your job is to inspire people on every level. I got the message. I got the memo from her. Inspire them from the moment you walk in the room. Who is that? Inspire them by the way you're present and engaged. Inspire them by your articulation and the depth of your story. Inspire. Don't speak to impress. Speak to inspire. But inspiration comes on many levels.
And I would tell you, it's not, you're always on a stage, whether you're on a stage or not. There's always somebody watching you that's capable of greatly blessing you. And I remember I was going through an airport in Europe, And this black guy is coming through the airport. And I mean,
Clean.
perfect.
Clean.
Clean, sharp. Everything's just nailed. He's, carrying a bag, not rolling a bag. He's carrying an awesome bag. He just looks outstanding. Everything's outstanding. He's just gleaming, this guy. And I'm just like, damn.
Wow.
And evidently he was like one of the big soccer stars.
Yeah.
And a wave went through the airport. Whether he was a star or not,
Right.
a wave would have gone through the airport.
Yeah.
Right? So like people used to dress up when they
Yes.
got on airplanes.
Yes.
They don't anymore.
Some still do.
I mean, it stands out. And here's what I'm going to tell you watching this. It starts how you show up on a Zoom. Is the lighting any good? Is the microphone any good? Are you on purpose?
Did you wipe the lens?
Do you have a background behind you, or you do one of those goofy background things where you push a button and there's a background? What are you doing? Right? You are showing up. You're doing one call with your prospect. Does that matter? Yeah, it matters. So how you show up at an event, like if you're not to the nines purposeful at your company convention, you are an amateur. You got to absolutely play the part like you are the number one earner in the company when you first join the company. So purposeful.
Wear the promise. Wear the landing point. Don't look like where you start. Look like your fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I dress for my fourth quarter. I don't dress for my first quarter. I arrived at the airport once right off stage. I was a little late and it was a close touch, and based on the way I was dressed, and I always dress at the airport because my grandmother said, "Sweetheart, when you travel, you represent me." She said, "I don't shortchange you, and you can't shortchange me." So my reason for dressing came way back from my grandmother, but now I see why. They stopped the plane and let me on the plane because the ticketing agent said, "You look like you have somewhere to be."
Wow.
My outfit, and I don't dress I just dress nice. I make sure and when I tell you the way they greet me is different. So I require when people travel with me, I said, I'm representing you well, represent me well, because we're moving together, and doors open. And I'm not one to try to be privileged above others, but how you look is it makes the first decision if someone believes you. I can talk about success, especially when I look like I've touched it.
Yeah.
So whether you're pursuing it or you're living it doesn't change the fact that you can't dress for your fourth quarter.
Yeah, so it's in your grooming. It's, are you on purpose with the scruffy beard? Are you clean shaven or not? Whatever it is, as long as it's on purpose. Do you have the right lighting? Do you have the right tone? Do you have the right energy? All of that stuff.
Hair, makeup.
Hair, makeup, all that stuff.
I used to resist makeup, ladies. I just want to say, just polish the edges. My mother says, don't make a new face, just polish the one you have.
I will tell you a quick story about an airplane thing. I probably have never told you this story.
Tell me.
So, Maureen and I are on an airplane going from Minneapolis to Amsterdam. And I'm dressed in my normal airport pajamas, basically, sweatpants and sweatshirt. And we're sitting in the front row, first class, in the middle. Mm-hmm. And there's, people can sit on either side. And my whole side's kind of empty. And at the last second, this whole group comes in. And this guy's like 6'4" and dressed double-breasted suit, tie. He walks in all regal, goes up to the front, introduces himself to the captain, introduces himself to the main flight attendant, and goes and sits down, and there's all this flurry of stuff happening. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. He sits right next to me, right here, okay? So at this time, I had started a new push-up thing. Like I read a book about habits that says every time you do something, you need to reinforce that with a trigger.
Yeah.
So the trigger was every time I went to the bathroom, I had to do 10 push-ups.
Oh.
So I'm on the plane, and I'm sitting here, and you're the person.
I'm the guy.
Yeah. So we take off time to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, and I come back, and there's like no place to go, kind of. So I kind of back myself up into him, and I go down on the floor, and I do my 10 push-ups.
Uh-huh.
And there's a guy sitting behind me who's never loosened his tie, who is like shooting daggers, wants to kill me.
Mortified. Right.
So I sit down, and this repeats. And he kind of has this amused look on his face. This repeats like 4 times over the course of a 8-hour flight or whatever.
Yeah.
And every time I'm backing my rear end into this guy and doing push-ups. So guess who this guy was? He was the king of the Netherlands. I was backing my ass into the king with my sweatpants, and he's being all fancy and being the king.
Oh my God.
And his head of security is sitting behind me, wanting to kill me through this whole time. So anyway, you got to make sure you never know who you're in front of. So let me talk to you about a wardrobe for a second. I came up with my style. If you look at the way I dress very specifically. And I found it over time, which is about contrast. You'll either see me with bright pants, dark top, or bright top, dark pants. And that's all you'll see over and over and over and over again. That's my
Jam.
My look. I like a pocket square just for a little bit of style. I rarely wear a tie. I accessorize with watches. The shoes are important, gentlemen. Let me just let you know, the shoes will give you a lot of grace in the world. But if you have the wrong shoes, you are dead to half the audience. So just up your shoe game. Where I started with that, I bought one pair of Tom Ford shoes. It was $2,000. It freaked me out for one pair. But I polished that pair. I had that pair, and that was when I was in front of people. I was wearing those shoes. So now I got a lot of shoes. But back then, I had my go-to suit. I had my little, mix and match, and that was what I did. So,
may I say something?
Yeah.
Private to the ladies, as if the men weren't here. If you are going to be remotely, even if you're not, but if you're remotely self-conscious about your body, really integrate undergarments. You need to feel good about yourself. The compression garments or the body shapers. What really helped me stand in front of a room was I stopped wondering what they were seeing. I stopped wondering if I looked okay. I just went and said, how do I shape myself underneath my clothes? I know I went personal, but it was real for me. And that allowed me to show up. That video that you just saw of me, I had it on during that video, so I was in my fire because my head wasn't chattering. Second thing I want to say to ladies is, if it feels uncomfortable at all privately to wear, you're only going to shrink when you get in front of people because you're going to apologize for your outfits. So wear confidence. I love wearing a turtleneck environment that's colorful, pretty much like I have on here, because I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about, my wardrobe is not a distraction. And with ladies, I'm real mindful to go, I want to make sure they get your essence and they're not distracted by your clothes. And sometimes we can be a distraction. And then the last thing I will say is find pictures of women wearing outfits and men that you love and make yourself a lookbook. Make yourself a lookbook so that you don't have to figure it out in your head. You can just look at someone's style. I do it all the time. I grab people that I love, and then when I get ready to put something together, I pretty much have what they have in my closet. I just didn't know how to put it together. So grab a lookbook, and don't grab someone who's going to Whole Foods. Grab someone who's commanding an audience, and then emulate, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and you might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with presenting? I will tell you, it has to do with influence. It has to do with your ability to connect with an audience. It has to do with the ability to be able to command respect, to have any kind of credibility. So there is costume. There is posture.
Yes.
How you carry yourself, body language, for example.
Yes.
One thing I learned, stand up for 1 second. So if you put your hands just down straight, and my hands are here, who looks like they're in authority? Me or Lisa? If your hands are straight down. It's me, right? Now, you pull your hands up and my hands are down. Now who's in authority? Lisa, just from this, what? Just from this, having energy there, that's going to make a difference? Yes, it's going to make a difference.
As opposed to here, right? But being here, first of all, it builds trust.
Yeah.
I see your hands. I see your eyes. It builds trust. Trust doesn't happen at the end of your conversation. Trust starts emerging or dismantling itself from the moment I lay eyes on you. If you have ever seen someone and say, I don't know about them, they just look shady. You made a decision before they even open their mouth versus someone who looks engaging.
And posture, for example, I started with Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn, if you ever watch Jim Rohn, he never moved from here. He sat behind the podium, and that's where he stayed. He didn't move. So guess what I did for a long time? I sat behind here, and I didn't move. And then I watched Tony Robbins moving around, and people like Lisa moving around. I'm like, well, I can move around.
Yeah.
And then once you start moving around, I started doing this and turning my back to the audience. And my coach was like, no. You can do this, but you can't turn your back on the audience. Oh, okay. So posture is eye contact. Posture is how you carry yourself. How do you stand? Where are your hands? Where are you looking? Energy. This whole energy. There are times when we're just chatting.
Yeah.
There's times when we're like getting intense. There's times when we're getting quiet and introspective.
And
all that matters.
Your posture and your body language sends a signal. So for me, when I'm speaking, I know that I love to ground people in depth while I take them high. So if I'm going over here, if you're ever presenting to a group of people and the room has a width, if you're standing near this body of people, you can stand over here and look over there and talk. So you never lose. You never lose your audience, whether it's an audience of 10 or audience of 100 or audience of 30. You can make sure if you make your audience feel seen through body language. You notice how my hands are, my eyes, you're scanning. I was at an event, I won't say the big speaker's name, but I was off to the side and he was talking like this the whole time and his head was up the whole time and all the people were here, but his head was up. And afterwards I said, who are you looking at? He goes, oh, I always look at the very last row because then I cover everyone. I said, well, you cover everyone, but you didn't look at anyone. So body language is eye contact because when I see you, you see me seeing you. And remember, the number one reason why you're presenting is for connection. Connection. I want to speak more about that later in the depth of that, but you're speaking for connection. People want to connect with you. They connect with you when they feel seen by you, heard by you, honored by you. And you can do all of that without them saying anything while you're presenting. One
of the goals, if you're presenting to a group, is to have you ever gone to a concert, a big concert, and felt at some point in the concert that the singer was actually looking right at you?
All about me.
You ever had that? Mm-hmm. It's like, they just looked at me. Bruno Mars just looked at me, right? It changes, like it has an impact on you. You want your audience at some point, if there's 1,000 people, they want to feel like, oh, he was just looking at me. She was just looking at me.
Or they were talking to me.
Yes.
I get that all the time. So you have to know that I've been doing this a long time. I've talked to a few people. So now in the airport, and because I talk about transformation, I'm not an entertainer. I wish I were Bruno Mars or at least a backup singer to Bruno, but neither. Really, I do. If you know Bruno, let me know.
Okay.
I'm a transformational speaker, so I speak about possibilities. So I'm in a personal space with people. But I don't know the people necessarily directly. I'm in their home and their computer on YouTube, right? Some of you may have seen me there. So when they see me, because whether at an event or online, I made them feel connected. They're already in a relationship with me, so they don't come up and shake hands with me. Like, they come up and they clobber me like, oh my God, I love you. And I go, I love you too.
Who are you?
Right, who are you? But what happens is I'm aware of what's happening. The way I spoke to them, there was an energy exchange. And so your job is to transmit an energy of trust, possibility, authority, stability, That's an opportunity. In the language, the body language, the wardrobe, the presentation creates an energy of, I want to be in that energy. I had a gentleman once invest $25,000 in my company, motivating the teen spirit. And he said, my wife and I don't have kids. We don't want to have kids. We don't even know if we like kids. Real talk. He said, but your energy and your intention when you speak is so powerful, we feel like it's our fiscal responsibility to help you do whatever you're going to do with them. You can literally move people in a direction they didn't know they were going to go when they got up this morning because you showed up. Brand strong, wardrobe strong, posture, body language, and energy intentional.
I'll give you a couple practical tips. I started here, and this gave me comfort. And then I moved to here. I could move to either side of it, but it had to be within reach. and then I started to move out, and I could move forward with different things. I can move back. And then, Lisa does this too, is if you see me do a large presentation anywhere, I'm going to get off that stage at some point, especially if I need to shake the audience up, if they're checking out or it's been a long day or whatever. I will get off the stage and and it will shake them up. And I learned, here, sit down for just 1 second. If I'm walking and I'm making a point and I'm still got to make sure I'm playing to camera and there's somebody in the audience and I just do this, and I'm not only connecting with her while I'm training, I'm connecting with everybody else in the room. And they went, oh, okay, this is like different. So if you see me do that, that's intentional. I didn't start there. I had to get comfortable with it. So I would encourage you, if you make a connection with somebody, you make it advice. I've literally climbed up in a stadium.
Yes.
Like, have you ever done that?
I did that in Slovenia.
It's so cool. You get off the stage. I climbed up to the top while I'm training. And I sat down next to somebody that had an open seat next to them. I just sat down.
And the cameras caught
And
you.
the cameras are there, and we're just talking. And people were freaking out. You know, so you got to make sure you pick your audience for this, right? But finding ways to be able to slowly, what I did is I found ways to finally express myself fully.
And can I just share with you what that does? Is what you do is you disrupt, and write this down, you disrupt the monologue and make it a dialogue. You want to, and make sure you grab that, you want to turn a monologue into a dialogue, because everyone has a monologue. Very few times can you have a dialogue. So when Eric did this, when he did this, it became a dialogue, even though Eric's the only one speaking. If you can create, now this is some next level stuff, you guys. There's a little league basketball, and then there's high school basketball, then there's NBA level, right? This is the first stage of NBA level, but we're going to teach you for the NBA and then dial you back.
Yeah.
You want to turn a dialogue, you want to turn a monologue into a dialogue the best way you can, especially in this season. People are used to engagement, commenting. I'm going to comment on this. I'm going to like this. I'm going to share this. Your opportunity is to give them that same opportunity while you're presenting, which is why you say, how many of you feel that way? Raise your hand. If you really feel that way, raise 2 hands. That's a dialogue moment. That hand on the shoulder, that's a dialogue moment. That I see you nodding your head. I see you nodding your head. I see there's some people in here who agree with me. That's a dialogue moment as well. You want to have as many dialogue moments as you possibly can. It helps you keep the attention. It helps people feel like they had a moment with you. You get someone to nod 3 times while you're presenting, they actually want to find a reason to nod the 4th time. Hello, y'all. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm just saying.
Figuring out ways, right, to make a connection.
Yeah.
So if you agree with me, say yes. You do something like that. Everybody says yes. You just got to give them a way to be able to do it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I'm gonna rapid fire through a bunch of different topics. Okay. I got some advice from a very, very good presenter. This guy was amazing. He said, anytime you're doing a talk, pick one theme. Your job is not to have 15 themes. One theme, and make sure they leave there with that one thing anchored. It was such good advice, because guess what we try to do? We prepare to have 400 things, and if we can move somebody mentally into embracing one thing, it's a win. Okay? So think about that. What do you think about that strategy?
Feed them from a spoon, not from a shovel. Because I would shovel.
Yeah.
I would bulk feed.
Right.
And go, why didn't you digest? And someone digesting and implementing one thing is more valuable than you touching 50.
Yes.
That took me a long time to learn. And for by the grace, my speaking impact saved me 1,000 times because I didn't know some of this stuff early on. This is a fourth quarter MBA. What do I want them to walk away with versus what do I want to tell them? I'll say that again. What do I want them to walk away with? Knowing, believing, feeling, doing, thinking, saying, doing, believing. What do I want them to walk away with versus what do I want to tell them? Now, whatever you want them to walk away with, that one thing, then reverse engineer your message to land them at that one thing. Man, it only took me about 15 years in the industry to understand that formula. I'm going to say it one more time. What do you want them to think, do, feel, and walk away with? Reverse engineer the message, all under the concept one thing.
One theme, keeping it simple. Simple's hard. Simple's hard. I watch people, they prepare for a 20-minute little presentation at their company convention.
86 slides.
And they've got 48 slides or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? There's no way this is going to happen. No, I've timed it out. It's going to be fine. And you know what they do? They get to 18 minutes and I got 46 slides left. And they stress out the audience by telling them that they don't have any time left. So 2, 3 things. Come up with a theme, and then what's 3 strategies to be able to do that theme? You're one of the best at this. How do you incorporate stories to anchor a theme? How do you find them? How do you collect them?
Yeah.
How do you craft them?
Yeah,
because you're one of the most amazing storytellers ever. That might be in your next presentation.
It is.
You're going to do. All right, we won't talk about it here.
It's only fair that I unpack it a bit more.
Yeah.
So
we'll leave it there then.
Yeah, so I'll drive that home. But when I just say, if they remember your story, they'll remember you. I'll just say that. If they remember your story, they'll remember you. But your story will be what they remember first.
Preparation. I want to talk about preparation for a moment. If you prepare, here's a general rule. The shorter the presentation, the more you need to prepare.
Yes.
Yes. The hardest thing for a trainer, teacher, presenter is to have a 10-minute talk.
To land it in 10
minutes. Or a 20-minute talk. It's just brutal. Give me all day and I'm good. Give me 15 minutes, I'm stressed out. And I'll do it, but I have to prepare. Yeah,
my most powerful speech that I spent a lot of time preparing for was 12 minutes. Still my favorite. I'm mad that I didn't get the recording. I didn't keep the notes, but I was so adamant to be 12 minutes. I needed to be 12 minutes, and I needed it to be powerful. Those 2 things will cause you to prepare. Don't wing it. Wing it is your ego.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with how smart you are. Winging it is irresponsible if you don't have enough time in yourselves to fill that gap, and you almost always will overtalk.
Yes.
Because until you feel like you've landed it powerfully, you'll keep talking.
See, my big presentation was, a long time ago, and I already gave them the recording of it. 14-minute talk I did in front of 14,000 people a long time ago, but I practiced for 90 straight days. I listened to the top 100 speeches ever given. I read every speech I could find. I've learned about repetition with different themes. And that one of the themes in that talk is I'm going to the top. And if they tell you it's too steep, you tell them I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. Yeah. And that was from Martin Luther King. I have a dream. I have a dream. Yeah. And all these different things.
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson, he had a talk. If you ever had a chance to hear it, Pretty Little Stones, it's called. Pretty Little Stones laying on the ground. That's what David picked up, these pretty little stones, for Goliath, and talked about how to be able to do it. Such a good talk, unbelievable. But I prepared and I practiced so much to be ready for that moment.
Yeah.
The shorter it is, the more you need to practice.
Yeah.
But I've just learned this. I'm not stressed some people are do you get stage fright?
No.
No. Some people, that they're top level people still do.
Yeah. So what I get is leading up to the moment, I start feeling all the bubbles that I want to land it. I want to get it done. It doesn't translate as fright to me as it's that anxiousness of, do I know what they need to walk away with? I ask those same questions so I can feel it. I'm very much alive and I'm very much tingly. Backstage before we started, I'm like, I want to land it. I walked in and the first thing I said to you, okay, so let me make sure I land it. So I have that. It used to be fright.
Yeah.
And now it is that vibration of, do I have everything in order?
Yep.
Until I meet the people and remind myself they're humans like me. I feel it. And the more prepared I am, the faster I can regulate my nervous system.
Yeah.
The more I remind myself, I was on the plane today on my way to you, and I know my content. And let me just review it to remember the order that it comes in so that I can regulate my nervous system. Because when you are nervous and that fright comes up and you're not prepared.
Yeah.
When you're not prepared, if you are prepared, you tell your system we're prepared. But if you're not prepared, he did it 90 days. 90 days you studied before?
Yes, 90-day preparation.
90-day preparation. Mm-hmm. When you're prepared, now you can be with the people. When you're not prepared, you're focused on your content. Mm-hmm. Anybody know what I'm talking about here? When you're not prepared, you're focused on your content. So you want to be prepared with your content. Dance with your content so you can dance with people. Because whether you're on camera and you're talking to a light, someone's on the other side of that light, and they need you to be present with them. And you're never present with someone while you're reading all your content just like this, like it was a script, because you didn't spend enough time embodying your message. I want to connect with you, the person, through your message. I don't want to just connect with the words and not the person. And in this day and age, when you build your brand, where we started, your brand visibility has everything to do with your face. People still see my name and they don't know my name. They see my face and they go, I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere. Building your face brand is important. You can't build your forehead brand.
I have a big one. Forehead.
Stop.
Sorry.
You gotta look up so they can see your beautiful eyes. He's so silly. So you want to make sure that you connect with people, because that's where they're going to remember you.
Preparation.
Everything.
Such a big deal. The more you prepare, the better you're going to feel. I have a recurring nightmare. My recurring nightmare is, it's never about my content, but it's always about an event. And I got to the venue and realized I don't have my clothes to be able to go on stage, or they can't find the microphone, or somebody's blocking me from getting to the entrance. I'm supposed to be introduced, and I'm way on the other side of something.
So what's your nightmare? Is it not getting to the stage right?
Or not prepared.
Oh, not prepared.
I've got shorts on, and my clothes are supposed to be in the dressing room, and they're not. So it's preparation. It's all the
moments.
Somebody blocking me from doing something I'm supposed to be doing.
You know you shouldn't tell me this.
Really? Are you gonna
You know I'm mischievous. You know.
I'm telling you, that's the thing. Yeah.
Well,
so I'm gonna go through some quick stuff, and then I'm gonna get out of your way and let you cook.
Okay.
Voice and tone. Let me talk to you about voice and tone. I literally consciously changed the pitch of my voice. My voice used to be way up here, and then I would talk about it, and it was way up. And if you hear anything from when I used to do trainings and talks, I would be up here, and that's how I would talk. And then I heard that if you have a deeper voice, you have more connection with an audience, more credibility, more gravitas, more strength. So I lowered it. My voice is lowered on purpose. I'm from Minnesota, and if you ever go to watch a movie called Fargo or something like that, you'll hear all of the hard accent from the Midwest. And I purposely tried to make my accent as kind of regional neutral on purpose to be able to appeal to a broader audience. So these are some of the things that I literally did. I trained myself to lower my voice. And I will tell you, ladies, same.
Yeah, no, so there's pitch modulation. Write that down. There's pitch modulation. And you want to think about your pitch. Look at my hands. Think about your tone as if you were at a piano playing. And most people speak, and they're only playing in the center of the piano. They talk like this. They teach like this. They speak like this. They tell an exciting story just like this. There's no modulation. So when you lean into what I call verbal highlights, write that down, verbal highlights, that's when you can go up and say, I was so excited, and then there was a time when I absolutely did not know what to do. And there was a moment in my life when I knew all things mattered, and there was a moment in my life when I knew it felt like nothing mattered. So it's not just a man thing, it's verbal highlights, and you use them to play on all the keys of the piano. Most people are going to play here. You want to stand out. You want to be unforgettable. That's out here, y'all. And you can do it all in one message. And it's not a big, grandioso performance. It's just understanding verbal highlights and how you do them and when you do them. And since we're there, we'll attach that also to cadence. Mm-hmm. So write down cadence. And there's this technique called pregnant pause. And a pregnant pause is when you're willing to hold the space in the room for a moment. You don't have to always talk fast and say everything all the time and have everything at a high pitch. You are comfortable enough to put space between your words. And you're comfortable enough to go down and have that bass. And go high and have that possibility. And speed up when you need to and slow down when it's required.
Smart. So let's talk about openings and closings. How do you open a talk? What's the best way to open a talk? Come up with something that just grabs people right away, captures their imagination.
Yeah. You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
So mine are a little different. It's not, I don't think it's traditional in what I've seen a lot. So for me, if you are, remember you're talking to people who are on a human journey, who want to be inspired by you, informed by you, because you're the person speaking. So your ownership is immediately to your audience. It's immediate to your audience. So there's a couple of things that I do. So one of the things I do most often is I pay homage. Write that down. I pay homage. Paying homage can always set you up to be big, be ginormous, go anywhere, because it starts respectful. I come out, I pay homage. And the way I do it is sometimes I'll say something along the lines of, I'm so honored to be here in front of you. I feel like I have the easy job. I show up and I get to present to you. But Eric and Marina, you've done so much work. And I talk third party, so I won't talk about them. I talk to them, even if I can't see them. If Eric were off stage, but normally they're somewhere, I say, you've done so much work to curate this room. So I just want to thank you for trusting me with it. I'm so honored. Give them another round of applause. And now there's a round of applause, a second round of applause. I've paid homage, and now you're clapping for the host, which you already love. And the bonus is I get another breath to get comfortable on stage from this viewpoint. So that's one way you come in. The other way you can come in, I call it mirroring the audience. So a mirror compliment, write that down, a mirror compliment. So I come on stage and I go, I'm gonna stand up for a moment. I go, oh my gosh, you guys look wonderful. Have you seen yourself? Look at the neighbors and look at yourself again. You look amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up for the occasion looking good and ready. And then you give yourselves another round of applause, and I've given you a compliment. I'm kind of in good grace right then because I just start off with a compliment to you. That's another one.
One of the ones that I like is to open with a story. Just the first words out of your mouth. Like the talk that I did, my 14-minute talk, started with, it didn't say, hi, thank you for the nice welcome, I hope everybody's good, travel well, who's excited, none of that stuff. It was over 200 years ago, there was a revolution. People who were sick of being oppressed, sick of being manipulated, they said, enough, I've had it, and I'm not living like this anymore. That was my open, right?
Yummy.
So then
Yummy.
straight into why did they do that and what was happening and all that stuff. And it was just boom, applause within 30 seconds, boom, applause with another, a little laugh within another 30 seconds, and then off it went. So sometimes you can open with a story. Sometimes you can open with my story, your story.
Yeah.
You can say, I've been a teacher for 22 years. And I love being a teacher. But here's the things that I didn't like.
And if you're going to open with a story, spend time on the story to make sure that it's colorful. I'm going to show you some techniques today, like I promised, but make sure it's colorful and timeline the story because it makes it so exciting. If you're going to open with a story, anytime we tell a story, we'll talk about this later, it was 1997 in spring. Now everyone's head is going to 1997. So make sure if you're going to open with a story, that's a bold move. That's an MBA move to open with a story. Make sure you've curated the story so the story has a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't go on forever. And you've practiced it. Again, preparation.
It ties in with your theme, all that. Let's talk about closes. Some of the great trainers have some signature closes. Are you going to do this in your other talk?
You want me
closes?
to?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
No, I'm not. I was like, you want, well, what am I going to do?
I have some signature go-tos.
So let me just say this first to set context. So many times I see this and my heart breaks. I know you've seen this too. The message is delicious. Your message is great. And I know you've probably seen this as well. The message is absolutely amazing. It's like fire, 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 fizzle. Like it just goes, wah, 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 wah. Okay, and thanks. It's like, wait, the last thing you say is the last thing they remember. I don't care how good the stuff before it, it can't go down. It's crescendo, 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 crescendo. When I'm curating a message, I land on the story I want to tell and the ending I want to have, and then I reverse engineer everything else. That's how important it is. Okay, go say what you're going to say.
So I sometimes having a signature go-to.
Yeah.
You can come up with your own. Like one of the ones that I use is think bigger, be stronger, move faster. It's kind of my closing thing, get out there and go do big things. Sometimes it's somebody telling a story. You watch like a Les Brown.
Yep.
He'll do some story at the end.
I do this. I did this for a long time. My grandmother says when you're her age, my grandmother was 92 when she said this, that when you get her age, you sit in your favorite chair, your favorite rocking chair, and you tell anyone who will listen the story of your life. But when you're your age, each one of your age, you got one thing. You got to make sure the story's going to be good to tell. Go make a good story.
Yeah.
That was my signature.
See? Having something, go make a good story, because that went with her theme.
Yes.
So that worked. Okay, got it. I got my assignment. I have my mission. I'm gonna go make that happen. So it might be a closing joke. It might be a closing story. It might be a closing challenge. Challenge is a good way to end.
I love a challenge.
to say, okay, don't. There's a quote that I just wrote down. I'm gonna find it.
All right, and I'm gonna do a challenge while he does that.
Go.
I challenge you to play bigger than you've ever played before. I challenge you to sing at the top of your lungs, even at the risk of being off key. I challenge you to be seen, to be heard, to be remembered. I challenge you to make the dash between your birthday and your transition day dance like nobody's looking. I challenge you.
See, now that's a good close. Let me give you another close. I just heard this from Eugene O'Neill. Have you ever heard this quote?
No, please tell me.
I beseech you to believe what I tell you. There is no life for any man or woman except the life of their own making. I beseech you, do not fail to do the thing that you know you should do. Do not dare to die until you have done something wonderful with your life.
Ooh.
Good close.
Ooh.
Good close, right? So anytime you can collect these things, find these things.
Affirmations.
Yeah.
Affirmations, quotes, like those are great to close with. Benjamin Franklin once said, comparison is the thief of all your joy. And then I'll add, you are an unrepeatable miracle. Go do you.
See, find these things. You're going to have to repeat them a few times. You'll find the one that works for you, and you can go for there. I want to just ask you one more question, and then I'll get out of your way. Then she can really cook. Using visuals in telling your story and adding music when doing your presentation.
So
I know it's a little bit more advanced.
the more elements you add, and only add an element that's gonna add energy. Don't add an element that's gonna stress you out. There's sometimes the truth that stress is a choice. And don't overstress yourself trying to be like the presenter before you. That's what I used to do. And I was on stage with Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, T. Harv Eker, Les Brown, John Assaraf, and here I am, the newbie. I'm 18 years younger than everyone at least. I'm the only woman, and I'm trying to do them. I'm stressing myself out. I'm getting a PowerPoint. I wasn't a PowerPoint girl. I've grown into a PowerPoint. I didn't start a PowerPoint girl. That didn't help me. That stressed me out. When I became a PowerPoint person, I had the capacity for it. I wasn't a music person. I couldn't put music in. When I got to that capacity, know the layers add layers. They add texture. Add the texture when you're ready for it, and then allow it to be a part of your presentation, not your entire presentation. Don't allow the PowerPoint, the slides, the handout, or the music to take over the most important essence, and that's you and your connection. So use it as a tool.
So you can add these things as you go, right?
Layers.
You're going to prepare, you're going to come up with your theme, you're going to figure out your look, you're going to make things simple, you're going to have an end in mind. What are you trying to lead people to go do or think or be as you're done? And then you're going to add some things to it as you will. I remember I was really uncomfortable with music in the middle of a training. Like if I got to some coaching moment and the music people behind me would start bringing some music up underneath, I was like, whoa, what's happening? Why is there music?
It was distracting.
It took me a while to kind of get used to that and just step into it.
You have to build the capacity to let it enter the room with you.
Yes, because it intimidated me at the very beginning of it.
Yeah.
You know, coming up with, do you have an introduction music? Do you have a song that you would like to have yourself introduced to? Think about that, because it'll set your state. It'll kind of make things happen for you.
So can I just say, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people doing with visuals is you have a PowerPoint and you're looking at the PowerPoint like this while you're talking. You already know what's on your PowerPoint. Look at the people. Don't look at the power. I see some of you laughing. Don't look at the PowerPoint. Glance at it. You know what's on it. Have your laptop in front of you. Put that little cue, even if they're not tethered together. They don't have to be tethered together. You know what's on it. Just hit it and then.
I'm guilty of that.
Right. Don't look at the PowerPoint. Stay with the people at all costs. Remember, you're building a lifeline. You will be someone's possibility lifeline. Don't cut the umbilical cord. Don't cut the umbilical. If I look back and I go, what did I do? I did a lot of things wrong. That's a whole nother workshop. But what did I do right? I moved everything out of the way to get to the people. The number one thing I kept moving out of the way is the need to be perfect. Hello, hello, hello. Your version 1 is better than your version none. Do it sloppy. Do it messy. You're still going to bless somebody. Just do it. I can't believe how many people I've impacted and how much money and revenue I've created figuring out how to do this right.
100% fact. 100% fact.
Still figuring it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have some good notes from this? Some good ideas? This is a collection of lots of little ideas to be able to figure things out that's going to help you grow, okay? So I'm glad that you have that.
I never get to do it. This is my first
This is
time
fun.
doing this with my brother. Like, I love you so much, but you know that. I loved you from the first time I came into this studio. I was preparing myself for another standard experience. I'm just going to say that, of a successful man in this business. And you were a surprise and delight to me. And my husband and I have made excuses to stay tethered to you and my sister friend because you make my heart happy. So thank you for the invite.
You're the best. Isn't she the best? So anyway, let's we'll finish this section, and in the next section, you're going to hear directly from Miss Lisa Nichols, giving you some extremely valuable ability to move the world with your story. Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, everybody do this. We're going to clear the stage. She's going to start in just one moment, but everybody stand up for just 1 second. You've been sitting around for a while. Just stand up and shake it out. Shake your body, shake your body, shake your body. Stretch a little bit, move a little bit. I want to have all the energy and attention to have some Broadway level story branding. It's about ready to happen, okay?
Yeah.
I'm proud of all of you. I'm excited for all of you. I can't wait to hear your story on a stage, maybe even on this GoPro stage.
Yeah.
How many put GoPro into the chat if you'd like to at some point to be on this GoPro stage and tell your network marketing story to the world?
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
Yeah.
Okay? And some people say, hey, remember my name. You know what my response is when they tell me that? Make me.
There you go.
I know all of the big players. I know all of the great presenters, all the best trainers in the world.
I was just thinking that when you said, people say, remember, I would go, make me.
Make me.
Give me
Show
something
me.
to remember.
I know all the players, all the greatest presenters. I know them. I know their name. So when you become a great presenter, guess what? You will separate yourself from the crowd, and you will earn a spot on stages just like this.
I'm going to show you guys how.
I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to let her just reframe and start and give it like 30 seconds and start.
Yeah. Before and while he's doing that, can you type in one nugget that you got from this last session that's a takeaway for you? Give me a nugget. Take your time. Don't try to make it fast. Take your time. One nugget from this last session just so that Eric and I could see your takeaways. And
okay.
I see, yes. Good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I see. Yes. Okay, welcome back. I'm so excited to teach this next piece to you. I'm using a training that I created after doing a one-woman show, believe it or not, on Broadway. And on December 9th of 2024, I actually did a one-woman show, one night only, December 9th, on Broadway. I don't know quite how I got there, but we did it to a sold-out room only. And I look back and say, if you can tell a Broadway-level story, it will open up every door possible. So I thought we'd start with Broadway-level storytelling, because in between that is any stage, any video. What does it take? So I'm going to teach you 3 techniques today, and I want to set it up in such a way, and just tell me, you guys can see, tell me when you see. I want to show you this one piece. This was me on Broadway, a little sizzle reel from the Broadway clip. Now, believe it or not, available on streaming on Prime and on Apple is this particular show, so you actually can watch it if you like. So we can play that video, just so you can see where your stories can go. I'm in rage. Rage has no logic. When they put the cat feces in front of me, on my door, I didn't do anything. When they wrote Black B, go home, I didn't do anything. When they poured a bucket of water over my head, I didn't do anything. And now he's calling me the N-word and the B-word. I am about to whoop his ass.
Eyes fixed like a statue. I just want somebody to hurt as much as I'm hurting. I want somebody to feel a piece of my pain.
She just waiting for more bad news.
So I'm thinking about, I'm gonna put this chair up. I'm sizing him up. He's about 5'8", about 170. I got him.
What you gonna do? Hold on.
And right as I'm thinking of picking the chair up, all of a sudden, for the first time, I hear God.
She's waiting between worlds.
I was born in South Central LA, between the Harlem Crip 30s and the Rolling 60s. And those are not cheerleading squads. We went between two worlds.
Waiting between worlds.
Excuse me, ma'am. My name is Lisa Nichols, and I don't plan to be on government assistance long. Great, groundbreaking, Lisa. Black woman. I know a lot of people get on it and stay on it. Single mother. My baby and I need a little help right now. Abused. And I woke up in the middle of the night to his hands wrapped around my throat. What did you think? Stay in your place. I'm tired of playing full out and feeling like I get nothing back in return.
Waiting between worlds.
She says, sweetheart, let grandma explain it to you. Pow! The gun goes off, I hit the water. I know that you thought you had the option of quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. God says, Lisa, I got a calling on your life to inspire. Quitters never win, winners never quit.
Lisa, nothing is working in your body. Everything is shutting down.
Quitters never win, winners never quit. I realize that it's in her weakness that I have to find my strength. Quitters never win, winners never quit. It's in her fear that I get to muster up my courage.
So I want you to, for a moment, really lean into what doors can my story, told powerfully, told correctly, told with intentionality, what doors can my story open up? When I produced this event, I was looking for leveraging my story. I wanted to launch the transportainment industry. I wanted this particular one-night show. I wanted to be on the airlines. I wanted to have international distribution. That just happened 30 days ago. I wanted to get a book deal. We just got that 4 months ago with Simon & Schuster. I wanted to launch. Stories can open doors. So I'm going to drive home some concepts here all around not only stories, but how you tell them. So I have a go-to library, and these are my stories. My goal for you during this next training session is to drive home the value of a story, to show you how to tell some stories in such a way that leaves people super excited, and then to really excite you to want to build your story library. That's what I want to do. I want you to really get, wait a minute, stories are key. So much so that I took from my 14 stories, I grabbed 9 or so of those and did an entire one-woman show on Broadway. That doesn't make sense. I'm not an actress. I don't do Broadway. I don't sing. I was a storyteller. First time ever, transportainment happened on Broadway. So your story can go much further than you ever imagined. What kind of story should you have? Well, when you look at your story library, it is your secret weapon. I kid you not. It is your secret weapon. It is that thing that you begin to realize it's not just content. Your story is a conversion machine. Your story is a connection tool. Your story takes your brand and it multiplies it. How? Because have you ever had a story that's so good, you heard a story so good you had to tell someone else? You want that story to be your story. Now, people I have a story called $11.42, right? That's the name of the story. And when I ask my community, I go, how much money did I have in the bank? They tell $12.30, $20.02. They always get the cents wrong, but they know that I had a small amount of money in the bank. So they may get the details of your story wrong, but they'll tell your story. And when people are inspired by your story, they will become your ambassadors in the world. You have to understand that your story is one of the greatest multipliers of all time for your influence and your impact. Why? Someone asked, why, Lisa? Why? Because we have left a traditional economy and we are now in an influence economy. And in the influence economy, you're not driven by corporations. You're not driven by product. You're driven by people. You're driven by trust. Trust shapes opinions. Trust moves people into action. So how do you build trust? You build trust through credibility and through your story. I'm telling you all of this before I teach you some techniques because I want you to know what's at stake. You have to know there's a lot at stake right now. Now, as I go through this, take a picture of these slides because this is the part I want you to download and understand and build your brand and build your business on this foundation. This is the foundation. Agreed upon? We agree upon that this is the foundation. This is the foundation to recognize that buyers are now buying now more based on people versus based on product. They don't buy because they love it's the best product. They don't even know if it's the best product. They're buying now because I trust her. I feel seen by him. Their story is my story. That's why they're buying. That's why we have to really master this economy. Now, the traits of our influence economy right now is the traditional economy, again, is product, credential, sales-driven, ads-driven, corporate voices. That's what mattered back then. Now, people, connection, stories, word of mouth, social proof, reliability. Super important as your foundation. As your foundation, super important to understand. To know that, and now I created this for a group of women, so gentlemen in the house, our kings that are here looking at this training, forgive me where it says woman. I just grabbed the content that I knew would be valuable for you, but this is for men and women. So when you're looking at expanding your brand, know that if someone's over 50, and you want to get everybody, you want everyone in your business, right? So when someone's over 50, they're looking for wisdom, trust, and a real connection. If they're under 50, they're looking for authenticity, relatability, and community. Your job is to give them all of this so that both generations will respond to influence, right? When you understand and your business shows all of these, you've mastered the influence economy. And as a result, you build a bridge that literally closes the gap. I sometimes am blown away how many people under 30 love me. I'm just blown away. They do you're T, they call me auntie, they tell their friends about me, they're 19, 20, 21. I'm confused. About 8 years ago, I was completely confused. Like, how do these kids know about me? And the truth is, it was the authenticity, relatability, and community that I provide. I didn't know it was that. And then I began to study it to make sure I always gave them that. I didn't magnify our differences. I unified our likenesses, right? And so when you look at it, this is where it says a woman, so men, see yourself as well. When a man or a woman shares your story, take a picture of this. If it's raw, real, and transformational, I want to show you the guidelines. Raw, real, and transformational. I didn't say safe, smart, and validating. I said raw, real, and transformational. You instantly become a mirror for someone. You can instantly become a mentor for someone, and you instantly become a movement maker for someone. And as a result, they want to play with you. They want to play with you. I want to show you something. And again, I'm going to take you into some techniques in a moment. And I just want to give you some evidence. And my brand is the one that I know the most. I'm not in any way trying to grandize me, but I just want to show you in my fourth quarter, I'm in my legacy years. I got a lot of years in front of me, but I got more behind me. In my legacy years, I look back and go, Lisa, what happened? How did you get selected to co-author Chicken Soup for the Soul as your first book project? How did you do that with Jack Canfield as your first book project? How did you get asked to do The Secret as your second book project? How was it that your first national media was Oprah and your second national media was Larry King? I don't say that in a way that makes you think I strategized that in any way. I didn't. I was as shocked as everyone else. When I look back in my rearview mirror, it was the stories, the power of the stories. So I had an unconscious competence at the time. I made my unconscious competence my conscious competence so that I can repeat it and scale the business. Make sense? And so I want to teach that to you. I want to show you this video really quickly because I want you to see virality, because you want to go viral in conversations or in video or in everything. You want to have that impact that makes people want to talk about you and want to share you. Let's be really clear. You want to have that because then you can grow exponentially. So I want to show you this next. Virality equals visibility. And you don't produce something to go viral. You produce something to be impactful. But there's certain elements in it that will help you increase your visibility. So let's show this video here. I'm just watch and read as you go through it, this quick video.
Hi, I'm Jack Canfield from the Inner Circle Club at jackcanfield.com, and I just finished what may be one of the most inspiring interviews of my career with Lisa Nichols, who is the author of a book called No Matter What, and you're also a trainer and a speaker, and you're just doing amazing things around the world. And you talked about a phrase you used I loved. You said you have to stand on your story, not in your story. Could you talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. All of us have to be able to.
We now welcome Lisa Nichols, a motivational speaker, advocate of personal empowerment. She's a teacher of The Secret, the Law of Attraction.
I'm living in my passion. And I run out of money, and I had to buy Pampers for Jelani. And I had $11.42 in the bank. And I remember wrapping my son in a towel for 2 days. I said yes when I wanted to say no. I don't want to do that. He became physically violent with me. I'd never been in an abusive relationship before. It's a life of hustle and survival. I remember when my ninth grade teacher asked me, Lisa, what do you want to be when you grow up? And see, I have to fight the Harlem Crip 30s every day to get home from school, so I looked at her and said, alive. I took an English class, I got a fail in English. And my English teacher said in front of the entire class, Lisa, you have to be the weakest writer I've ever met in my entire life. And I started working, and that was the beginning of me rescuing myself. I realized that I am my rescue. No one else is my rescue. I am my rescue. You gonna disrupt some people, and they gonna tell you your light's too bright, your light's too bright, your light's too bright, your light's too bright. Then you just look at them and say, well, I'm not dimming my light. I'm just gonna hand you some shade.
If I can do it, you can do it. Like, there's no sprinkle fairy dust with me. There's no magic potion lotion with me. I didn't get a hookup. So if I can do it, you can do it. So let's get to it.
So I want to show you, because there's an element and there's an ingredient that's happening in each one of those. There's that same thread. I studied it to find out, what can I teach you? After a while, people kept saying, Lisa, teach us how to do what you do. I go, okay, what was it that I was doing every single time, right? And so there's this formula in there. I want to teach you today a few of the things that's in the formula, because the reality is, in this current climate, story selling isn't a cute add-on. It is your marketing strategy. Story selling is the engine that drives your brand and your business and your scaling. Now, in this next slide, you're going to see that if you don't have 6 to 9 powerful stories, I'm going to say, let's start with 1 or 2, right? The reality is, you're already behind if you don't have a great story that you can pull on, and it's concise, it's powerful, and it's consistent. So I want you to get to the place that you have at least 2 or 3 stories, because your growth isn't just going to come out of systems. It's not just going to come out of funnels. Your next level of growth is going to come from stories that are felt, remembered, and keyword, repeated. Super, super, super important. So when you understand your story library, this is a great picture to grab. It's not just content. Your story library is currency. I'll go back, because some of you said I didn't have a chance to take that picture. Okay, so, and the reason why I want you to get this is because look at the binder. Your discovery story, your origin story, your resiliency story, your failure story, your vision story, your signature, like you got all kind of stories. Now, I'm going to tell you now, they're not stories in the moment. They're just an incident. There's a way that you turn an incident to a story. Don't worry. I'll tell you about that in a few moments. I'll show you. But back to the fact that your stories are currency. Your stories are currency. And when you realize that, you'll realize that in order to really impact, you can't just communicate good these days. There's a whole lot of good communicators out there. You must captivate. You don't need to speak louder. You don't need to get over all the noise out there. You can be impactful because your stories are powerful without being noisy. Turn information into healthy drama, strategy into a great story, vision into some great action. You want to engage, simplify, build trust, and inspire action. How do you do that? That's all around the edges of your product. That's all around the edges of your business. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You can tell me that you're an electrician. I'm going to say, okay, still engage me, simplify, build trust, and inspire action in me. Now, I'm going to give you 3 techniques today. You're going to feel like she's talking a little faster than she was with Eric. I am. Because I'm so committed to walk away with 3 of the 16 techniques. Now, this is the 16-point blueprint of Broadway level story branding. This is what I always teach. This is what I teach on my campus. I'm pulling 3 of these out for you today and teaching them to you. To give you another list of how that looks, I'll show you. It's the same thing. Don't worry. It's the same thing. The core 8 techniques that you want to grab is the Valley, audience connection, pregnant pause. I said some of these to you already. Verbal highlights, full body sport, show me versus tell me, scooping, and the bridge. These are great techniques that if you focus on just the technique, you don't have to learn all of them to get better. You learn one, do that one, you actually get better. You can see it. I've seen people literally go from a level 3 speaker to a level 5 speaker just implementing 3 of these techniques, not even all of the 8, just 3. And then when you get this down and you want to go next level, there's this next level of spoken song. That's adding music, disruptive proximity. That's what Eric talked about earlier, stepping off the stage and getting next to your audience. That's a game changer technique. Cadence and iteration, I talked a little bit about that. Confrontation and charge, Eric and I just talked about that. And then task versus maintenance, understanding. So there are techniques that can get you there. What I'm excited about is that when you master or even learn and implement 1, 2, 3 of these techniques, you naturally scale up as a speaker. So here's the truth. Most people think you have to be born a great presenter. And while that was true 30 years ago, because we didn't know the techniques to teach you to make you unforgettable. We just knew what to teach you, or they knew what to teach you. I wasn't teaching at that time to make you good. Now, you can literally be unforgettable. You can. Today, I'm going to show you the audience connection formula, show me versus tell me, and the Valley. I'm going to do my best to give you all of these, all right? So the first is audience connection formula. Write that down, audience connection formula, ACF. Now, this is a powerful technique, and I invite you, do it at your dinner table today. Do it tomorrow. Practice on everyone around you, right? Don't wait till you're on camera, on stage. Do not. This works with humans. I do it with my husband all the time. I do it with my children all the time. It works. It's just an engagement. They're all for engagement. What it does is it shifts your conversation. Replace the word speech with conversation. It shifts your conversation from a monologue to a dialogue. This technique is designed to intentionally connect you and your audience. so that you feel connected. They feel like they're on the journey with you. We're no longer in that era where we look at someone that we've chosen to admire at the mountaintop, and we're like, yes, how do I get up there with you? We're no longer there. Now, we look at someone on the mountaintop, someone who's where we want to get to, and we go, come help me climb. That's how we think now. We don't think just show me the road. We now think climb with me. We agree on that? That's the energy. This technique helps them to see your audience of one, your audience through the camera, that your team, that you are willing to climb with them. It allows them to see themselves in your story and feel that you get them. And when someone feels like you get them, then they want to follow you. If you get them, they'll want to follow you. Believe me, I know, this has been my life. So now, technique time. All right, are you ready? Ready for the cameras? I'm going to go through these techniques. I'm going to show you the technique. So, audience connection formula is designed me, we, you. Write the statement me, we, you. Me, we, you. That's the formula. Me, we, you. Me is a flashback. When you do the me portion, you're sharing a vulnerable moment in your life. I'll just break this down. Me shares a vulnerable moment in your life. We shows the connection by stating relatable mindsets and behaviors that we all have. Okay, me is a flashback to a vulnerable moment. We got that? We is collecting all of us with a mindset or behavior that's common to many of us. And then you allows your audience to jump in your story and acknowledge their own truth. Me, we, you. There was a time when I really wanted to speak and travel the world. But I always wondered, was I smart enough? Was I good enough? And will people listen to me? See, we have a tendency to want to do something, to really desire it, and then immediately talk ourselves out of it and question if we are ready for it. Have you ever had a dream and then begin to doubt if you can make the dream happen? Did you see what I just did? You're like, what happened? I just me with you. I just audience connection you. Let me show you. Audience connection formula framework. These are the sentence stems. There was a time when we have a tendency to, have you ever? Don't change the formula, y'all. My grandmother says, if you want your sweet potato pie to taste as good as my sweet potato pie, you need to use my same ingredients. Use the nutmeg, the sugar, the butter, and the sweet potatoes. Don't change the formula here. Keep this formula just like this because you'll stay on the safe road. There was a time when I felt like, as a woman, I would never break into the major motivational speaking stages. I thought that it was just a place for men. We have a tendency to discount our future based on what the past looked like. Have you ever wanted something, but because there was no other evidence that people like you or someone like you could do it, you thought you couldn't? Did you see me just do it to you again? All right, one more time. There was a time when I really wanted to get married. I wanted love in my life, but I believed I could not be a mother, a CEO, and a longtime partner, wife, or otherwise. We have a tendency to think that we can have this or that, but we can't have what? Both. Have you ever felt like you had to pick and choose in your life, that you couldn't have both and all? You see what I just did? You see the nods? That creates connection. So that is your audience connection formula, ACF. You do it inside of your keynotes. You can even do it on camera without anyone being on the other side. I just did it with you. You're on the other side, but you can do it without anyone talking to you necessarily. You just say it. There was a time when we have a tendency to, have you ever? And people nod. And guess what? Every time I nod, you're gaining credibility with me. Every time I nod, this is a secret sauce. This is a secret sauce. This will make you a standout speaker because very few people will offer this. You know why? because the very first part of this requires vulnerability. And most presenters don't want to be too vulnerable. Next technique. I'm going to give you 3 techniques today. The next technique. This next technique is really, it's one of my favorites, and it's the one that's done the least. And when you master it, it's the one that can really take you the furthest. It's show me versus tell me. Now, this technique gives you the power. I love the word power. It gives you the power to move your audience from listening to now watching your story. I would honestly say this technique is the only reason why I was able to take my story to Broadway. Broadway is all about the theatrics, right? And so I wouldn't have been able to take my story to Broadway had I not already developed the muscle called show me versus tell me technique. When you've mastered this particular technique, it transports, it throws your audience into the story. Have you ever listened to someone tell a story and you felt like you were there? Like they had you locked and loaded, like, oh my God, I feel like I was right there. That's a great storyteller. And there's some techniques to them doing that. When you take someone on a roller coaster with their feelings and their thoughts, and you both go through it together, you really accelerate connection. You accelerate the power of the story. You accelerate what happens. You accelerate what's going on. It was 1997, and my son Jelani was lying on the couch, and so beautiful, robust. Jelani was born 9 pounds, 3 ounces. I had a big boy. And I realized I had run out of Pampers. And I went to the ATM, got Jelani on my hip, and we go down to the ATM, and I put my card in, and I read the sign that comes up, the notice. It said, insufficient funds. Balance, $11.42. My heart sank. No. I did my bills differently. This is not true. All of a sudden, I got a little nervous. I need at least $20 in to get $20 out. I couldn't get the money out. I went into the store and I whispered to the teller, can I buy Pampers individually? No, ma'am. I didn't think so. I went home with my heart in my throat. I didn't know it was a blend of shame, anger, frustration. How did I get here? I did the best I can do. I wrapped Jelani in multiple towels for the next 2 days. And I don't know if you've ever, as a parent or as a guardian or as a family member, you couldn't provide for someone. I had one job to do, provide for Jelani, one job to do, keep him safe, keep him dry, keep him fed. I wasn't going to call my mom. This was my responsibility. I got pregnant. I wrapped Jelani in towels repeatedly, one towel after another towel. And somewhere inside of that first day, I put my hand on his stomach and I said, baby, don't worry. Mommy will never be this broke and this broken again. I knew he couldn't understand me. He was just a baby. But I needed to hear myself make him that promise. And that was the day that I was willing to do whatever it took to transform Lisa Nichols. I was willing to die to self. I was willing to forfeit my fear. I was willing to abandon my scarcity thinking. Okay, so that's an example of show me. That's an example of taking you in and putting you inside the ATM and seeing the insufficient funds and sitting on the couch with me. And notice how I took you inside the experience and I showed you the story. I didn't tell you the story. I showed you the story. So how do you do that? Well, when you're telling a story, It sounds like I was angry when I walked into the room and saw who was there. That's a telling of a story. But when you show the story, look at the difference. Take a picture. My blood boiled. Pregnant pause, hold your breath. Allow that space. Play with the entire piano of the lexicon. My jaw began to tighten. I was afraid of my own thoughts at this point. I did not expect this. I did not expect him. The phone rang and I was scared to answer it. That's telling me. Showing me is when the phone rang, my mouth instantly went dry. My heart began to pound aggressively. And my body was frozen in place. You feel the difference in the density? You feel the difference in the impact? Same statement. Same statement. One is told, one is showing. Now let me say this to you. We have been taught to tell stories. We have not been taught to show stories. We have been taught to tell stories. I was surprised to be awarded a Medal for. That's great. That sounds nice. But that's high school basketball. NBA, my voice shook. My eyes filled with tears. And every moment of feeling overlooked and underappreciated seemed to melt away as they awarded me the Medal for. Like, you see the difference in the gravitas of each side? Now, you want to stand out? I guarantee you 97.8% of people telling stories and speaking, they're telling instead of showing. How do you shift? Lisa, how do you shift? Well, funny you should ask. I have an answer for you. So you take the technique and you begin to unpack the words. Take a picture of this because you don't show the incident, you show the emotion. Write that down. You don't show the incident, you show the emotion. Actually, at the bottom of my slide, I have it for you. You want to tell me what did you sense? What did you smell? What did you taste? What did you hear? What did you see? What did you think? What was going on in your head? What was it screaming or whispering? What was it saying? That's how you show. Now, I have to tell you, this muscle is in atrophy. Even when you think you're doing it, you're only 20% doing it. This muscle is going to take some time because we have been taught to tell. Show me technique requires that you unpack. I want you to write down the word unpack. Show me the word unpack. Whenever you hear me say, unpack that, unpack that, unpack that, that means I want you to take me in more layers. If you tell me, Lisa, I was hopeful, I'll say, unpack that. Lisa, I began to dream again. I could see in color again. Lisa, I can feel that butterfly in my belly starting to flap its wings again. I don't know what it is. And I know if you're an engineer or you're a mathematician or you're a scientist, you're like, Lisa, this is kind of weird. This is kind of woo-woo. Believe me, you can go there being a linear thinker as well. I felt defeated. I'm going to say, unpack that. What does feeling defeated feel like? So you'll have to begin to go through your body and go, what's the feeling? I felt exhausted. I felt like my arms were heavy. My heart was heavy. My head was heavy. Hope was heavy. Do you see that? You see the difference? It's going to take more time, but please use the additional 30 seconds to inspire me more. Right? Practice this today. Practice this when we're done. Now, what happens is you give a description of your words. And what happens with that is it gives the listener a visual experience. Get this, I really need you to hear this. It gives the listener a visual experience that leads them to the same emotion without ever saying the emotion or feeling. Don't name it. Don't name it. They'll land in the zip code. They'll land in the zip code. So here is your glossary. These are the things, and the reason why I gave you these words is because most people feel or have felt these words. You want to create bridges. You want to touch more people. You want to reach across color lines, culture lines, religious lines, socioeconomic lines, geographical lines. Then spotlight this in your story, because this transcends all of that. And then, let me go back. So I want to wrap that up. So show me versus tell me, that's the piece on that. That's critical. The 3 techniques I'm giving you today, they are the critical, juicy ones that make all the difference in the world for your listener, your future followers. You want to grow your exposure, you unpack more feelings, because everyone's feeling it. No one has your exact story, but they do share the feelings that you had when you were going through it. Does that make sense? Oh, so important. It's so worth the price of admission to walk away with this as a knowing. You're going to walk away with a lot, but if you walk away with this as a knowing, it doesn't matter if you are 65 or 26. It doesn't matter if you're a white man or an Asian woman. It doesn't matter if you're a Latino professional or an African-American educator. It doesn't matter. These emotions, these feelings transcend all things. It's why people all around the world say, Lisa Nichols belongs to me. Lisa Nichols understands me. Lisa Nichols is my girl. They don't care what color package I come in. They don't care about my religion. They don't care about any of that, because I have spotlighted our feelings. Does that make sense? And that's the superpower that you get to have as well. What I'm revealing to you are the superpowers that most people don't even know to talk about. They're the superpowers behind the black curtain of what make people who we like and love and follow, this is what they're doing. And Eric and Marina wanted me to make sure you knew about it. Good stuff? All right. So now I've taught you ACF, Audience Connection Formula. I've taught you ACF, Audience Connection Formula, me, we, you. Right? So let's put that on the shelf. I've taught you show me versus tell me technique. Superpowers, those 2 right there. I don't need to teach you all 16. You need to go and master those 2. Start tonight. Now, the final technique. The final technique that I'm going to teach you is robust. We're going to spend a little while on this one, okay? We're going to spend a little while on this one because this is one technique with multiple parts. This one technique this technique is so powerful that in 2007, when the director of the Harpo Inc. Studios called me, she said, I'm calling from Harpo Inc., and I'd like to interview you to see if you would be a good fit for Oprah. Now, what I didn't know was that the producers, so she was the producers had a guideline. If the potential guest that you are interviewing, if they're not excitable in the first 12 minutes of the conversation, end the conversation. So I think that's still the case, y'all. So if you're ever pursuing national media coverage, just know you got 12 minutes to inspire them, or else just let it roll, let it go. So I'm talking to this woman, and I unconsciously at the time, this was 2007, I didn't have these techniques. I didn't have these techniques as clean and as clear for you as I do today. I started doing this next technique called the Valley. Write that down, the Valley, which is your story. I started telling her my Valley. And right around 90 minutes later, I want y'all to hear this. 90 minutes later, I hadn't learned how to do it fast yet. My phone dies. My phone dies on the producer of the Oprah show, y'all. Can you just say OMG? OMG. But I made the story was so riveting because even though the story was way too long, I'm not going to teach you how to do it like that. I'm going to teach you how to do the short version. I was doing show me and me, we, you. And so she was engaged. So when my phone got charged up again, by that time, I'm in California, she's in Chicago. By the time my phone got charged up, the studio had closed. But she left me a message and said, oh my God, your story was so good. Now I'm way over time. It was a 12-minute conversation. Went 90 minutes long and the phone died and I was still talking. She said, while your phone was probably charging, I was talking to the executive producer. We want to know if we can fly out to Los Angeles and do a backstory on you. Now, I only tell you that, backstory is they look at the whole story of your life. I'm telling you that because out of all the teachers in The Secret that they called and interviewed that week, I was the only one that told the Valley Technique. And mind you, I'm the youngest person in The Secret. I'm definitely not the smartest person in The Secret. They got BAs and MBAs and PhD degrees through Z degrees. That was not me. How I outshined so many people was the Valley Technique. It still is. No one puts that kind of skin in. So I really want to amp this up so that you understand the gravitas and the importance. Can we take that slide down right quick so it's just me for a moment? The gravitas of what the power of a story and what a story does and how you live in the story and the story lives in you and how people are looking for their inspiration and their opening and their possibility in your story. In Africa, some of the African villages, the king and the queen, by the way, I was on Oprah and the entire second set of Oprah, the second, they do four episodes inside of one show. The entire second portion of the Oprah show that day was titled the Lisa Nichols segment. It's called a segment. The Lisa Nichols segment, and they showed my backstory, and they showed my vision board, and they showed where I grew up, and they showed my high school. No one else. Some of my colleagues that was on the Oprah show with me, to this day, they said, we will never go on national media with you again. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And they haven't. And that was over 20 years ago. But I'm saying all that to say, what was the secret sauce? It wasn't my intellect. It wasn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I was the least qualified. I'm sitting between Jack Canfield and Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith. Hello, you guys. I was the only one who did the Valley Technique. I was the only one who told a story. It is another superpower. So with that, I hope you're ready because I'm about to take you on this journey. I want you won't master it overnight. You'll understand it today. You'll understand it today and you'll begin to practice it a bit and we'll meet again and we'll keep practicing and you can do all of this today, tomorrow, and the next day. Get on camera, do it to yourself, talk to someone. It's one of those things you can practice real time with real people anytime. All right, so now I want to take you back. I want to take you to what the Valley Technique is. So if you can bring up the slide, the Valley Technique is it's a tool that shows your relatability. It gives the audience an emotional arc that you can, we love an emotional arc. We love tension and then triumph. Humans are wired to follow the story with tension. Look at movies. Every movie you ever watch will show struggle. It has to. Because struggle has to then lead to triumph. If the entire movie was triumph, it will be boring, right? It has to mirror what's called the hero's journey. You are a hero. You are a shero. You have a journey. You are listening to me. You're in this program. You're running. That is a hero's journey. You don't have to have won the lottery. You don't have to have been the master of everything. You don't have to be an 8-figure earner yet. You have won the journey. You are here. You're inside. So everyone wants to hear and have the hero's journey. Hope and activation. Authenticity, a great story. It creates momentum. It leaves me wanting to climb. So now, that's the premise. And that's what a great Valley Technique story will show. And I can do one story after another. They can be very different, and they'll all engage a piece of that. Now, when you look at a story, there's a peak, then there's a struggle, then there's a journey, then there's a victory. Start at the top. Describe who you are today in success, the good life. And everyone has good moments in their life. And then drop into the struggle, and then walk them through the journey, and then invite them into possibility. This path right here is the path of possibility. This path right here leaves no one behind. And there's a way you craft it. And guess what? Would you believe me if I told you you can do this in 3 minutes? I know, wow, you can do this in 3 minutes. Take some practice and some intentionality and a framework. So I have all that for you. I came with all the things you need to at least understand it. Today is about understanding it. Today is about being introduced to it. You're not going to master it. You can't go and do it exactly perfect tomorrow. You can practice it. And messy will be great. It'll be further than you were. So now let me show you the path. When you look at it, these are the sentence stems. Now remember what I said about my grandmother's sweet potato pie? Don't change the ingredients. I want you to take a picture of this because I want you to use one of these sentence stems, not all of them. I want you to use this first before you go out and you create on your own, all right? Now, you don't use all 3 to the left. That's the big U. So remember when we go back, I'm going to take you back for a minute. Remember at the top, there's the peak. So that the left side of the V is the peak, the bottom is the struggle, and the next is the victory. So when we do that, the left side of this blueprint is the peak. You only use one of those clusters, not all. At the bottom, you can choose something like that, and on the right, you use one. So if we can take the slide down and just put me up, I'm going to show you this, okay? Or you can leave the slide up and just bring me up on screen as well. Either one is great. So I'm going to give you some real live examples because I'm an example kind of girl. I needed examples in school. They teach me and I go, can you give me an example? Can you give me one more example? Okay, can you give me 2 more examples? So I'm going to teach you the way I learned. And if you already have mastered it, just be patient with the rest of us. Watch me apply what I just showed you. What most people know about me is that I run a multi-million-dollar business with a global brand, and I have the pleasure of having impacted the lives of over 88 million people. But what you may not know about me is that there was a time when I lived off of my food stamps. And I was grateful to stand in the WIC line, women, infant, and children, and get free cheese, free pasta, and free butter. Do you see how I just went down? If we can bring that slide up, the Valley Blueprint, while I'm talking to the side. Yeah, if we can bring it to the side of me, that would be great if both of us can be on the screen. Thank you so much. So I want you to see that path. And then on the way out, it was, and this is where you would add your business if you did your business, right? I went through hard times, and as a result of going through hard times, I made a commitment that I would never be there again. I made a commitment to find the people and the practices and the businesses and the partners that can transform my life. And because of that, I'm a better person. And now I'm committed to teaching as many people as possible. I don't know, can you see yourself doing this at a meeting? I mean, it really is juicy, right? I'll give you another one. I'm still blown away. Look at the second one. I'm still blown away that I was able to be an author or co-author of 10 books. I'm blown away that I have best-selling books. I'm blown away that I've autographed books all around the world because I'm the same person who got a fail the last time I took English. And what I realize is that what someone else believes and how you start is not how you finish. How you started your first quarter doesn't mean your second quarter will be that way. So I'm committed to teach people to press reset. I'm committed to give people 1,000 second chances to blow their own mind. And because of that, I'm committed to you, to extend an invitation to you to play big. Can you see yourself doing something like that? You see what I just did? It's a framework. Just follow the framework, but end with whatever's true for you, right? Now, Lisa, I don't have a lot of stories. You got all these stories. I don't have stories. I know, they're not stories yet. Guess what they are? An incident. Write down incident. They're just an incident. We take an incident and we make an incident a story. That's how you get a story library. It's not curated yet. It's not manufactured yet. It's not polished yet. Of course it's not. This is our first time seeing this for many of us. But we get to make it that. Let me help you identify some things that you can create a story around. They don't have to all be destitute and $11.42. They don't have to all be I was poor, I was hurting. They don't have to be that. So if you're that person where you don't have that, guess what you had? You had doubt. Did you have doubt? You had doubt. You had loneliness. That's a story. It's just not curated yet. All right, cheat sheet. Lisa, give me a cheat sheet. Okay, here's your cheat sheet. Here's your cheat sheet. This is just like a brain starter for what a story can be. Was there a time when you went from financial struggle to stability? I didn't say wealth, just stability. Was there a time when there was a turning point in your life around a health crisis? Was there a moment in your life when you had shame and all of a sudden you moved into awareness? Was there a moment in your life when you lost your voice and you had to give yourself your voice again? These are all just kind of jump starters, just stuff. Oh yeah, that time. Now, this next piece that I'm going to show you is really important on what you do with it. Now, this next piece, again, worth the price of admission. Get your camera ready, because now we're going to take that moment and we're going to make that moment, that incident, a story. You ready? You ready? So you take any moment like this. I want you to pick your moment right now. Don't wait till later. What you can do tomorrow, you can do today. What you can do later, you can do right now. So pick a moment. Pick an incident. Choose your incident, write it down on a piece of paper. And now, let's make the story. Dun, 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 dun. So, here's how you do it. You are showing a movie. In 1987, it was fall. I had a pimple in the middle of my forehead. I was 19 after all. I just gave you the top 1, 2, 3. I just did 1, 2, 3 on that list. So remember, when you're telling a story, you're telling an oral movie. You're showing me a movie. What time of the year was it? What was the season? If you have it, you may not have all this, but you want to stretch for this. And then get this. This is what's really important to understand. Number 4 is the only part that is the incident of what happened. Everything else is how you felt, what was going through your head, how did you rise. So it was 1997. It was summertime, spring or summertime. The sun was out. I was 224 pounds. I just had my son. I was 100 pounds overweight. And I ran out of Pampers. So I went to the ATM to get Pampers. And I had $11.42. It said insufficient funds. I immediately began to feel, I felt nervous. I felt inadequate. I felt embarrassed. How did I get here? You guys following the path with me? You following me? How did I get here? The number one thing people keep telling me is, Lisa, you got so much potential. How did my potential land me with $11.42 and an 8-month-old child? After those 2 days, I made a decision. I'm willing to learn whatever I need to learn, and more importantly, I'm willing to unlearn whatever I need to unlearn. And then I'll keep going. Do you guys see? I just want to give you an example of the framework. I promise you, this is the secret sauce, y'all. Take the picture, follow the framework. You will want to skip 5 and 6 because you want to stay smart and you want to stay powerful and you want to keep your credibility. What you must realize is when you have the emotional capacity to unpack 5 and 6 in front of me and then give me 7 and 8, you are more powerful than I've ever imagined. And I choose you. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And then when you've done these 3 techniques and when you've told your story, there's only one thing left to do, and that is take your bow. Take your bow. Be willing to get your flowers. Your story has already been lived through you. Your story deserves to be told. Someone is going to be inspired by you. You are an unrepeatable miracle. Your job is to make sure that in this world of high vibration and a lot of noise, that you cut through the chatter with your authenticity. You cut through the chatter with the feeling. You cut through the chatter by making people feel seen. And then know that there is a stage with your name on it that needs you to stand right there in your light. Because you got one job, and that's to make sure none of your potential climbs in the casket with you. None. That you give everything while you are here. So if you're nervous, do it with knees knocking and teeth chattering. If someone else doesn't get your vision, know that they don't get your vision because God didn't give your vision to them. God gave your vision to you. Learn. At this age, wherever you are in that brilliant, ripe, perfect age, be willing to unlearn what's holding you back and to learn what will take you forward. Somebody is waiting on you. It is my honor to be with you. I look at my life and it's unrecognizable. And I can honestly tell you, it wasn't the wisdom of business that took me there initially. It was not that. It was the power of my voice and the power of my presence and my ability to be powerfully present to people. And it kept saving me over and over again. It kept not just opening a door, y'all, it kicked open the door every time. And when the door closed, it kicked it open again. So this, if nothing else, is of value in this season, is how not only do you show up, but how do you make people feel? It's been my honor to be with you. I hope that I've inspired you to stretch. I hope that I've inspired you to shoot your shot and then shoot it another 9,999 times. And we're not looking for your perfection. We're hoping that you just have progress. And remember, your version 1 is better than your version none. Go play big because somebody's watching you. And they're not watching how you do it perfectly. They're watching how you get up again and again and again and again. They're watching how you trust yourself the moment after failure. They're watching how you forgive when you've been shot with hard words, how you can love the shooter. They're watching all of that. They're watching if you can reach across color lines, religious lines, socioeconomic lines, and see me for who I am and love me for who I'm becoming. They're watching. You're already in the spotlight. You're already on stage. What will you do now? I love you.
Lisa Nichols, everybody. How great is she? Standing ovation again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mwah. Amazing
you.
woman. She flew here just for you.
Just for you.
Just for you. She's flying home tonight just because of you.
Yeah.
But as an investment into the future storytellers that you're all going to be
Absolutely.
going out there and doing amazing things. We'll look back to this day as the day hopefully you made a decision you're going to do something big. So give her one
Thank
more
you
big
for your love. Thank you, guys.
round
Love
of applause. Love you, love you, love you. All right. How many of you have at least 5 pages of notes? Yes? Okay, good. Now listen, I want to challenge you now. You ready for a challenge? Raise your hand if you're ready for a challenge. Here's the challenge. We're in the 4th quarter. Your brain is full, right? You've got a million things that you need to go do. You might be physically tired. You might be emotionally tired. This is the time where you need to lock in. This is where amateurs check out and where professionals check in, okay? Because it doesn't matter how good you are if you can't get onto a stage. Wouldn't it be valuable to learn how to get on a stage? Wouldn't it be valuable to learn not only how to strengthen your signature talk and take all these elements, but then how to get on more stages? I want you to get on more stages. I want more people to hear your story.